Okay, hello guys. My name is Daniel. I'm technical support for By Demes Ireland, and today I want to talk a bit about the smart alarm panel, which is called Vesta. Now I'm going to open a bit of a PowerPoint here presentation just to give you a general idea what's it about and where you can use it and so on. So some of the general uses are for security services and home automation, as well as monitoring, then energy management, some live viewing as well, and there's an option for senior care as well, which you can find on our website. There's a medical alarm devices and so on. So we got a couple of versions of panels. Some of them are 2G version and a 4G version. The panel I have here has two areas or two partitions, more likely known in Ireland, and it can support 160 zones. RF range for devices is around 2 kilometers, which is very impressive. It was actually tested by us and others, and it definitely works. Of course, this distance is always a bit less with more like walls and stuff you have, but it's definitely around that range. Okay, so as you can see here on the picture, this is how the panel looks. Pretty simple, pretty clean. It has a integrated siren inside of it here. Okay, so this is just a show how you could, for example, install it. It's highlighting the 2 kilometer range, long-lasting batteries. Okay, there's two different communication methods, which are called Zigbee and Z-Wave. Zigbee as a system mesh net. It's basically a way of connection. They both offer a low consumption energy, and they have a very low data transfer rate, so not a lot of traffic expense there. Now the Zigbee is open protocol, while Z-Wave is a closed protocol. This is how the panel looks, and here we have some explanation of the LEDs, what each LED does. I'm not going to go into this, as it is pretty clear, and you can find these in a booklet or on the internet, or I can share this information as well. On the side of the panel, we have a micro SD slot, USB port. We also have a learn or reset button, which can be used to reset the panel or add devices. And the usual stuff like the power supply, battery switch, and so on. Here we have a list of security devices. We got different kinds of mini, normal size, recessed, slim door or window sensors, as you can see here on these little screenshots. Then we have wide range of motion sensors for the panel. We got the normal one, the dual tech motions, the ceiling mounts. We got the curtain sensors, indoors, outdoor cameras, PIR cameras, sorry. Okay, then we have also smoke or CO detectors. We got combinations of CO and smoke in one sensor, or we have them separate. We also have heat detectors and different range of keypads. Now you can see here on the bottom we have a I don't know, 3 or 4 different versions. We got touch screen keypad as well, remote controls. The one I have here looks slightly different than this one. Got tag readers, and these little tags, you can use them with the keypad, which is kind of neat. Okay, and then we have more devices like outdoor sirens. We got indoor sirens that are powered with the battery or stable power supply. We also got shock sensors, shock and vibration sensors, acoustic glass break detectors, water leakage sensors, and these can all be tied with the home automation to make them even more useful and smart. We also got voice extenders, which can help you with arming and disarming systems, which is good for, I guess, people that don't hear very well. So we can help them with that. There's classic panic buttons, temperature sensors, receiver and transmitters, and we have repeaters, which are very useful if you have a big place and you want to repeat the signal of the panel. And the way they work is they are able to repeat each other. So they can actually, let's say you have a panel and then you have a repeater, one repeater. This first repeater can connect to a second repeater. Second repeater connects to the first repeater. It doesn't have to connect to the panel, and so on. You can add, I don't know how many of them, but a good number of them. And we have some automation sensors here. So we got the classic power switch. We got the relays, thermostats. As you can see, wide range of devices, and they can also be checked on our on our website. Okay, and then we have more automation sensors. We got the light switches, the dimmer switches, relay controllers, which are very cool, very important for the home automation. We got the light sensor for temperature, humidity, and so on. Okay, then we got some multifunctional sensors. Well, these sensors, some people would use them for security reasons, but definitely not recommended. So they would mostly be used for, I don't know, for sensor, like to detect if you walk into the room and then it's gonna, I don't know, turn on a light or something like that. And we also got smart LED light bulbs, more combinations of smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Okay, so the way that the setup of the panel works is very, simple. You insert the SIM card or connect to Ethernet, set the battery switch to on position if you have a battery, connect the power, and the LEDs will light up, and after 10 or 15 seconds, the panel will be ready. To program the panel, you can program it locally, which is not really recommended. The recommended way is to use the portal, which is this one, Home Portal Server. So this Home Portal Server can be accessed, I'll show you the address later, because the interface of it is very simple and very intuitive for you to program the panel. So this is how it kind of looks right now, and I'll show you how it looks and explain all the functions on the home portal. Okay, so this is for the PPT. Not much to say there, but what I want to do is I want to show you where you can locate these devices on our website. So if you go to products and if you go to intrusion, and here you can see the medical alarm side of Vesta, and here you can see the other side, the security side. Now, if we open the security side here, you can locate all the devices. Some of them still don't have descriptions. It's coming up soon, and some of them already have all the description, and you can see the pictures. We got different kits that you might be interested in. So we got the kits with, I don't know, one PIR, a camera, magnetic sensor, and I don't know, like a little a remote controller, or you can get a kit with two camera PIRs and then add more devices depending which devices you need. You can also sort through devices here, through the categories, and locate different types of detectors. Okay, so yeah, that's for the website. Now I want to show how the how the programming looks and how the website looks. So the website address is this one, smarthomesec.bydemes.com. So if you go on this website, this is what will greet you. If you're a first-time user, if you just bought the panel, you want to do the first-time registration. So if you click on this, it shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes, a minute. I don't know, depends how fast you type. And if you go to next, so it's telling me here that the panel should be powered on and connected to the internet and so on, so you can access it actually. And if you click next, you put in your new username here, you choose and confirm your password, and you put your email here. These are the required steps for the registration, the ones with the little red star. These other ones are not required. So when you got these typed in, doesn't matter now, I'm just gonna put anything here. Okay, and I think I have to put my email here at bydemes.com. You have to agree for the terms and conditions, and you click next. Here is where you can fill in some of your details, but you can click next. This is only optional. So if you click next, next thing you have to do to register your panel is put in the MAC address of the panel. This MAC address can be located on the side of the panel. And you give a name to your panel so you can recognize which one it is later, and choose the language. I'm going to keep it in English for now. Okay, so MAC address, I think I'll be able to show you like this. MAC address can be located here. Okay, look here. So first couple of digits, I believe they're already, I believe they are already, yeah, they're already in. You just have to fill in the rest of them. And when you click submit, your panel will be registered, and you as a user then can log in to the page. So I'm going to back out of this, and since I have my account created already, I'm just going to log in. Click on remember me so I don't have to fill it in every single time, and click connect. Okay, so when I'm in here, this is my main screen that greets me. Here you can see some options like security stuff, then automation stuff. Then you got the camera option, events, and settings, where most of the programming will be done. Then here I have a list of my security devices. In my case, I have added a couple of devices. I have my magnetic contact, and I have my PIR here. And I have a remote control added as well. Okay, so, but I'm gonna delete some of them so I can add them again and show you how the adding looks and how simple it is. So on this screen, you can see which devices you have and what their status is. Status of my devices here is all right. They would report if there's a low battery or something like that. And my door contact, or magnetic contact, how I say, is closed right now. So if I open my magnetic contact, panel is going to make a small sound and it's going to say DC open. If I close it back up, it's going to report being closed again. You can check here on the right your panel status. If I click on the status, it's going to say that the battery is missing or it's dead, suspended. It's saying that I have no SIM card and therefore I have no GSM signal, which is all right. I don't have a SIM card. My panel is connected with the Ethernet. Okay, and it's also saying the status of devices, total 3 devices, all good. Okay, so here you can also see this area 1. This is partition 1. You can also check your area 2 or partition 2. All my devices are on area 1 right now. Okay, so That's regarding the security stuff. Now we have automation. Okay, here. Okay, so here you would have your list of devices. Now, for this training, I don't have any automation devices with me. I don't have a temperature sensors or relays or so on, but I'll do my best to try and explain how they are added because it's very simple. I believe I'll have more Vesta trainings later, and I'll see if I can get some automation devices so I can show it off. Okay, so you would see a list of your devices here and their status, and is there any faults and so on. The next tab we have is a room. Here you can create rooms by pressing on this plus on the right side. If you do this and you give your, I don't know, living room, and you can also upload an image for this living room. So you, I don't know, have a picture for it. When you press OK, it's gonna add it. And if I had some devices here, they would be on the list, and I could click for each one of them or some of them, add. And I would have these devices added to my living room. So now it gave some kind of default picture because I didn't upload any. And here you can, I don't know, you can edit the name of the room and upload a different image if you want, or you can delete the room. So I'm going to do that right now because I don't need it. You can also, you have ability to create groups. So here you can make a group of items, which allows you to control this group of items. For example, I don't know, you have 10 hue light bulbs. You can create all of them with this group. So you can create a group of, I don't know, group of thermostats for each room, or a group of shutters, or yeah, basically all the devices that are supported by Vesta that we have on the website. You can control this way. You also have ability to create up to or maximum of 10 scenes. So you can create a scene where, let's say you come from work, you enter your house, and you want this scene to turn on your TV, adjust the room temperature, adjust the light in the room, and so on. So you can make 10 scenes like this. And you can also, here you can see how that basically looks. I don't know, here you can choose, yeah, you depending on the device, you can choose what you want, what action you want to be taken with this device. Aside from scenes, you have ability to create 100 rules. So these rules work in this way. So you got trigger, condition, and action. So how to explain this the easiest way? This trigger is the first state of rule, meaning that this action will result of your trigger, from your trigger. And you can add a specific condition which will activate trigger only if this condition is met. This might sound a bit confusing, but let's say you, I don't know, you set this trigger to mode change, and once you disarm your partition 1 under the condition that time is, let's say, every day at, I don't know, 2 a.m., for example, this action will be taken, the action that you choose. So once again, let's say you come into your house, you disarm the system, the time of day is, I don't know, Sunday, 2 a.m. Action that will happen is this one. So area 1, zone, I don't know, zone 3 will do this. And you can set 100 of these rules. Okay, I hope it's clear. If it's not clear, I can help out later on with this. And I can help even more when I get some of the automation devices. Okay, next tab we have here is cam. Now there's the Hua camera integration in process right now, but from what I've heard, right now you can live view this camera, or you can live view the recorder, but there's a restriction to one channel only right now. So if you want to check more cameras, you want to add a channel 0 at this moment. But there's a plan for you to be able to connect this camera with the PIR sensor that's in the hallway. Let's say this PIR in the hallway triggers. It can be set to start the recording of the camera for, I don't know, 15 seconds or 30 seconds or so on. That's the plan, and it should happen very soon. Okay, so next thing we have here is event tab. Here you can check different events. You can sort them by media events. You can sort them by alarm events, like burglar events. And you can also specify your search by entering specific time you want to check. So for example, April 13th, 2020, I can see there were 2 periodic tests at 5 p.m. and 5 a.m. So this is pretty much self-explanatory regarding the event. Now the next important tab we have here is setting. So setting, in order to enter setting tab, you have to enter the default installer code, which is 7982. Once you did this, you're in the, let's say, in the setup menu. Here you can, in the device tab, you can see a list of your devices. You can search for device. If you have plenty of devices, you can search for them like this. Kind of easier to find them. You also have ability to add more devices. You have the ability to mock test these devices. You can refresh the list if it's not refreshing immediately, and you can remove devices. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove, for example, PIR, and I'm going to press OK. It's going to ask me, do I want to delete them? I'm going to say yes. And it's saying device has been removed. But as you can see, it's still here on the list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click refresh. And now the device is definitely removed. Okay, now if I want to add a new device to the panel, I can either press that learn button on the side of the panel, or I can press this plus here. And it's going to tell me add device. It's waiting for me to add a device. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you. So since I removed this PIR, where's my camera? There it is. I'm gonna, the way to learn it, it's do it like this. So this LED is actually a button as well. So if I press and hold it for a second, I should have my device recognized here, and the panel made like a little chirp sound, and it found it here. I'm gonna click on it. I'm gonna click OK, and it's going to ask me which area I want to set it to, or I mean, which partition, which zone do I want it to be, and what's the device name. So the device name is PIR Office, and click OK. Device is added successfully, and I can see my device here. Now, I can also do a walk test if I press this. And I believe if I press a button, like I'm gonna press a, so what's happening now with the panel is you can see here the LEDs are flashing. Means that the panel is in walk test mode. And I want to see my remote controller here, so I'm gonna press a button, any button, and it's gonna say remote controller is used for area 1. It's zone 3, memorized in zone 3, device name, and the signal. 9 is strongest signal. Okay, and from what my colleague tested, he said that he went with this remote controller. I think, I don't know how far, I think over 500 over a kilometer, and he was still able to arm and disarm the system with this thing. So the range is pretty insane. Okay, and so this is the walk test. You can do this walk test with every single device. One important thing I wanted to mention is that the range of RF devices is around 2 kilometers, but the range of the PIR camera, it's slightly less. So they defined it as around 800 meters, which is still insane, I think. Okay. So, okay, what else I want to show you? Okay, you can also edit each of these devices by pressing these 3 vertical dots. So if you click on them, you can see that my IR is, or PIR is in area 1, zone 1, its name. Do I want to bypass it? Do I want to set the zone as 24 hours? Or what's the response of the zone when I disarm it and home arm it and so on? So if I full arm it, it's going to be a burglar instant. So these zones, I believe every installer would know what they mean, but there's work on the manual which will explain everything. Okay. Next thing here is geofencing. Now, this geofencing is a very interesting feature. So what you can do with this geofencing is you can use it to, for example, have a scene. You can create a scene, not literally, but inside the panel, or rules, and manipulate the panel in various ways. So let's say you can have this geofencing track if you enable GPS locating on your mobile phone app for Vesta. You can have the app track you, and if you leave this geofencing area of which is a minimum of 100 meters, you'll get a notification saying, "Hey, you didn't arm your system," and you can arm it that way. It's basically warning you or giving you some kind of features if you leave or enter this set radius. So you can set it to much more than just 100 meters, as you can see. You can set maximum to 5 kilometers. Okay, so let's say you can also let's say you're coming back home, and when the panel or app detects you inside these 100 meters, it's gonna start a certain scene, for example, or start a certain rule. Okay, then the next thing we have here is panel. So you can see various functions that you can set here. You have, I don't know, you have temper alarms. So if you want tempers only to be registered if your system is fully armed, or you want the tampers on the devices to be registered all the time. You have a supervision timer, how often you want the system to check on the devices. So I don't know, I left it at a default, which is 12 hours. You also have cross-zone timer. Now, this cross-zone timer is similar to follow zone feature. The follow zone feature would be if, let's say, you open the front door of your house and then you have PIR in the hallway looking at those doors. So this PIR is going to follow the magnet on the doors. If this PIR is triggered first, because it's set on follow, it's going to alarm instantly. So this cross zone is similar, but different altogether. Let's say you have a house and you have a garage. So in the garage, you have a PIR that's set as a cross zone. And this PIR will tell you if it detects any movement in the garage, but it's only considered as a pre-alarm, not a full alarm. So it will send you a notification of the movement in the area, but it will not alarm the system. So it's pretty good for filtering false alarms, as it requires confirmation from some other zone to trigger a full alarm. So you can program zone to be a cross zone in, oh, wrong one. You can program it in here. Wait, where was it? Yeah, it's here. So you can set it as a cross zone here. You just have to click on these three dots to get the zone working as a cross zone. Okay. So this is regarding the cross zone. Okay, you can also give a timer for this cross zone. So you can allow 1 minute of crossing in this zone, or 15 minutes. You also have ability to set the door chime, and then this would be the volume for this door chime. Right now it's set on low. I don't know. You can set it on high if you want. Not many people use it because it kind of gets annoying. Okay, you also have warning beeps. For example, these are used for tampers. So if you have a tamper on device, panel will give warning beeps. If it's on off, there's not going to be any warning beeps. If you set it to low, there's going to be a slight chirp from the panel telling you there's something wrong. Okay, so this ARM fault type is, what this means is that, let's say you have some issues on the panel, it's going to ask you to confirm before it fully arms the panel. Or if you click on this option, direct arm, it's going to arm the panel without asking you about any issues that you have on the panel. Okay, supervision check you want to keep as on. You also have alarm length. You can, right now, I disabled it because I don't want any siren going off in my office here. So you can set it to 15 minutes. I don't know, usually installations, when I used to install panels, I think we had to put it on 5 or 10 minutes or something like that. Same thing for the fire. You also have a ability to change the volume of the confirmation sounds, and this is for when you're adding devices. So it's set on low because I still want to hear something, but I don't want it to be loud, and I don't want it to be completely turned off. And you can also set entry or exit only final beeps. So you can have panels set, let's say you enter a house and you can only have sound from the panel on the last 3 seconds before it goes into alarm. Or you can have it start beeping on the last 10 seconds. So basically you'll know, if you set it on 10 seconds, you'll know that you still have 10 seconds to disarm the system before it goes off. And here you also have for away and for home sets of the panel, you have different delay times, exit delay times, entry, and so on. So you can adjust these to how much you want. I don't know. The less for entry, the less the better, I think, because if someone breaks in, the less time they have, the better. Or disable it and just disarm your system remotely from the app or from the controller. Okay, and you can do all this for area 2 as well, or partition 2. Okay, the next sub tab we have here is panel. Okay, what we have here, we have a report from the panel if there's a AC failure. So inside 5 minutes, if there's no restoration of the AC, of the power supply for the panel, it's gonna send you a notification. Or you can allow it up to 1 hour, and it's gonna be checking for this 1 hour if it's still if it got the power now. If it still doesn't have, then it's gonna send you it's gonna warn you. Jamming report, I don't know, I think this is important, so you want to leave it on as less as possible. Okay, auto check in offset period. I have to check on this one. I have to check in offset period. Yeah, I have to check this one. Okay, then we have auto check in interval. This is basically a periodic test of the panel. How often do you want the panel to check and to send you a notification how it's doing? Is it still communicating? So right now it's set on 12 hours. I guess you want to set it ideally to 1 day. So every day it's going to tell you, I'm fine, and so on. You can set the resolution of the PIR camera. So right now we set on 320 by 240, and it's going to send you 3 images. You can set it higher. So you can send it to 640 by 480, and it's going to send 1 image, but be mindful that if you're on a SIM card, this is going to take more traffic because the better quality and amount of images and so on. And let's say you're using only SIM card with this panel, maybe this is what you want to enable here. So if you're not using Ethernet, it's going to keep telling you there's an issue with Ethernet, and you can bypass this fault here. Okay, and here you have some information about the panel. Get the panel name as well. I think you can edit it here as well. And do you want the siren temper to be programmed on or off? I don't have a siren, so it's on off. Next section we have here is code. So you can see my codes here. So you can change the installer code if you want. You can set the duress code on the panel. So if a person is forced by someone to get in the house and disarm the system, they can say, okay, I'm going to disarm it, and use a duress code, which will notify where, I don't know, notify the monitoring center that there's an issue, there's a problem or heist or whatever, robbery, I don't know. You can also set a temporary code, and this temporary code will be valid for only 1 use. So if you have if you have a cleaner coming in your house while you're not at home, you can give them a temporary code for 1 use. Okay, next one is clock. You can set the clock here. You can change where the server where the panel is getting the time from, or you can set it manually, and you can factory default the whole panel by if you keep these 2 unchecked, you're gonna factory default it completely. But you can also choose to keep current network settings, or you can also choose to keep current device list. So if you want to reset everything but the devices you have added to the panel. Okay. We also have a GSM section here. So if you're using a SIM card, this is where you'll want to get your details in. So according to your SIM card, you will have different APNs and passwords that you will be using, and usernames. Okay, there's also ability to program these panels with the SMS, but if there's an interest for this, I would have to look it up. There's definitely that option as well, if there's no other option to program it. Okay, and the last thing we have here is the report. Here you can, as you can see by the below examples here, you can report via IP in contact ID or CF formats to the monitoring station. You can also report with the email, and you can have more groups of emails where you will send the reports from the panel to. So let's say, I don't know, you want to report only essential happenings with the panel. You can choose that here, and you can have more groups to report to. For the reporting to the monitoring station, I'm expecting to have more information about this. If not on next training, maybe the third training coming up on the panel. Right now, we have an example how it would look here. So you would have to get the IP of the server from the monitoring station, and the account number of this panel, port, and so on, in order to get the information to them. And this is where you would get the captured files from the camera, or the PIR camera. This is where you can set where you would send them, to an email or so on. Okay. Another thing I wanted to mention is, if you click on so see the name of my panel here, if I click on the arrow right here, I can access a bit more information. So what I can do here is I can change a few settings regarding the notifications. So right now I have a user that's me here, By Demes Ireland, and actually this is my phone when I created when I logged in onto my phone with the panel. Here you can choose what kind of push notifications you want to push to this mobile phone, for example. So I can choose all of the information, or only burglar information. So only the security side, not the low batteries and so on, only the alarms. So I can push only alarms to my account here. You can also choose what kind of notifications would a person with email. So if you have an email registered with this panel, you can only choose to send burglar alarms to this email, not all the information. Okay, and you can add extra recipients and so on. Okay. And one more thing here I wanted to mention is, let me see. Let's see. Okay, leave site. Here, if you click on this, you can you can see your panels. So right now I have only one panel, but you can have, I don't know, 50 of them if you want. So this account would have 50 panels under its domain. If you click on your name of your account, you can change date format, and you can change the language if there's need for that. Change passwords, change avatars, and so on. If I click back, so as I said, I can add more panels here. Okay, and that's pretty much regarding the portal. There's also a few things that I want to mention that were mentioned on the previous training, and I will just go through them like this. So okay, so I already mentioned that if you only want a specific types of notifications to go to certain user, you can choose from burglar, none, or so on. Another important thing to mention is that the keypad doesn't emit sound. The sound is emitted from the panel, and this sound can be, as I've shown before, it can be lowered or higher or heightened. So that's actually a question that was asked a lot before. And the internal siren of the panel is quite loud. I'm not going to demonstrate it now because it's really loud. Okay, what else I want to mention? Okay, and for example, we have magnetic contacts that have aux inputs in them, and there's a little dip switch which can make this magnetic contact to be a magnetic contact or only auxiliary. So it cannot use both functions. So that's one important thing to mention. And okay, log me out there because I've been a bit inactive. And another thing is, if you do a factory reset on the panel, it's not gonna unregister you. You're still gonna be registered to Smart Home Sec. Just your settings as you chose them will be reset. Okay, and I guess the last thing I want to show you with this is the smartphone app. So let me do the connection here. So I just gotta power up my my app. Okay, there we go. Okay, mirror. Okay, do I have the same thing issue like before? Yes, I do. Okay, let's connect my Wi-Fi. Okay, connected. Let's try again. Okay, there we go. Okay, and I believe you can see my phone screen right now. Okay, so what I want to show you here is you can locate the app like this. So if you go to Play Store and you type in Smart Home Sec, you're going to find it here as a developer airspace CCTV. So you can install it. And when you open the app, it's going to look like this. You can also do the, what is this now? Okay, enable notifications. Okay, allow. All right, so you can do the first time registration, or you can directly go in if you have an account already. So log in, and this is what you can do. So you can arm the panel, you can disarm the panel. You can see the panel status. As you can see, it looks pretty much the same as the home portal on the web browser, just on a smaller scale. Okay, so I didn't even show you once how to, disarm the system. So I can home arm it, or I can away arm it. So I'm gonna away arm it. It's gonna ask me for my PIN. My PIN is default 1234, and it's telling me there's faults in the system. So that's the setting that I told you about. You can directly arm the system, or you can tell system to ask you to confirm it. So I'm gonna say okay, and it's gonna say battery dead, no SIM card, and I'm gonna say okay to all of them and bypass all of those issues. And now my system is armed as away. And you can see there, notification for this popped up immediately. If I want to disarm the system, I press on this icon on the left, I put in my password, and it disarmed the system. And I also got the notification saying user this remote disarmed system Nesta. Okay, you can also check the area too. In this case, you can see the panel status. You can see your devices. You can okay. These are other options here. You can see your scenes, your rooms, your groups, your automation devices, your rules that you set. You can see your camera or camcorder here. So you can have those as well. You can also have a live stream from the intercom. And here you can see your events, media, alarm, and you can sort by date. So the same thing as the web browser, just all smaller scale. Okay, and if you want to check more options, you can see the account list. You can see the notifications, so you can choose to push all the notifications, frequency, and so on. You can here as well. You will have to enable that that GPS for the app, so geofencing will work properly, and you can enter geofence here and exit. You have to enable them basically. Right now I have them disabled. Okay, geofencing, got the codes here, got the bypass of the devices. You can bypass them. Asking me for a master code. Wait, master code. What was it? 1111, I believe. 1111 for area 1. Yeah, and you can bypass, I don't know, PAR office, and it's bypassed, or you can unbypass it. You can see about the app. You can see which version you have if you want to, I don't know, update it or whatever. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I have for now. I'm sure I'll have more for the next trainings when I get the monitoring station information and so on. So I'm just gonna stop the recording, and then if anyone has any questions, we can talk about it. So thank you all for attending.